be more serious.
I'm sorry. I'm just being a realist here.
A real downer is what you're being.
I think what was surprised was how well our robot performed in our very first competition. How well our team meshed, and we did really well at the competition.
It was a little bit of a shock to see him walking around with a green smock on. Wait a minute. What was that, number 3? Yeah.
I was surprised by some of the veteran teams weren't as good as I anticipated they would be. I expected all the veteran teams to bring a lot to the table, and a lot of them did not bring as much as we did.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I mean, if I had known that before we went into it, we would have been more complex, because we tried to keep it simple, being a small team, with only 2 guys building and designing and all that, and I tried to gear them more towards simple, because I thought the other teams would be everybody would be a kicker. I thought everybody would be able to score in a high goal, or at least, attempt to, and be, relatively good at it. And that wasn't the case. I was very surprised at how many robots had hardly any effort put into them. Not up to par. Yeah, not up to par. Yeah, the effort, you could see the effort wasn't there. For the amount of money that was spent and the effort I thought that would be put into it, it wasn't there.
Well, all of our teams did phenomenal. All 4 of them did really, really well.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the county has anything to be ashamed of.
Oh, not at all. You all did great. I was, but it.
Even Owasso for basically showing up to the competition with a kit and a pile of lumber. I heard other teams commenting, "Man, they're really going to town on defense." They were impressed.
They were pretty impressive for what they brought with them. I was impressed with their driving ability, and they really raised havoc for a lot of teams.
So coaches, what will you do different next year?
Well, like I said, I won't push them so hard to be so simple. But hopefully we have more kids, and we'll have more ability to get more done in a shorter period of time. I was so concerned about getting something that ran, and I guess, I didn't understand the 45 pounds outside of the bag that you can keep out. I didn't see how that could help us any, but now being a veteran team, we have a rolling chassis that we can put it onto to test it. So now we have a little bit more next year where we'll have more time to build and fine-tune our pieces that we didn't have this year. Because this year it was in the bag and done because you had no way of testing it because we didn't have enough chassis. So.
Justin, what will you do? What'd you learn this year?
A lot. I tried to play to the kids' strong points. The kids that we had a really diverse amount of group members. Some were strong builders, some were strong programmers, and I honestly tried to keep up with them. This was like a fast-paced team. Everything I gave them to work with, they built something out of the materials or they had something programmed. I'm hoping for next year to have just that knowledge to start on and go from there, keep on going up higher. I know I was talking with Scott about not even having time to get on and get some of the free supplies that I should have got, on the websites, and as time goes by so fast, trying to fit everything in, thinking of what the priorities are.
Always learning.
I was a builder before this, but aluminum I was new to. So aluminum construction, seeing how much it'll how much you can, push it before it breaks. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned. We cut into our chassis, and that ended up bending when we hit into other robots, and we reinforced it. But I think just the actual material, working with it.
Yeah, those robots get a little rough out there in the field.
Get a little rough out here.
Yeah, I mean they're way quicker than you think, and they're How about Owasso? What did you?
Well, I came a little
late.
That's
I'm
okay.
not sure what I missed here, but I think what we want to do next year is definitely expand. We had a limited ability, so we want to make sure we're fully capable for whatever the challenge is, but also to a little bit what they're speaking to is experiment, try different things, even though they might not work out, may not look perfect when we start. We want to get in there and make those mistakes and learn from them and try added technology, whether it's hydraulics or compressed air, depending on what the challenge is going to be, so that we're sort of on the edge of what might work and might not, and not be too conservative and learn from our mistakes.
So it's really cool to hear that all three teams that are here tonight are, excited, coming back next year, anxious to do it again. And how many of you are seniors? Any? I'd say we had a couple. You can come back as like mentors and help, right?
Who's planning on it? Who's planning on it?
You certainly can.
Are you talking, Shakespeare?
I'd like to add one thing.
Okay,
You can go
add
ahead and go first, John.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say too, one thing I learned that I was really surprised about wasn't the robot itself, but was the group of people, the whole group of robotics people that are putting a lot of time and effort and energy into this. It's surprising to see a community of people like that. This is a positive effect for the kids that are in this. All the guys that are there and putting in their time. It's just, I think it's a great group of people to continue on with this for years.
I
don't
that.
see that
I think
enough,
It's the
where
most
there's just-
awesome thing.
I mean, everywhere you turn, there was a team that was willing to help. I mean, you had a problem, and you have 3 teams coming over to see if you needed anything that they could help you with. And that was really surprising. You don't meet people like that every day, but to meet a huge group of people like that was priceless.
Yeah, as a whole. You mean
As a whole.
when you went to a competition or even we went to some practices.
The whole culture.
The whole group of people are really amazing in their sharing, willing to share anything they had, basically, whether it be knowledge or parts or that was.
I think some of your kids mentioned the enthusiasm of just being in that
Oh,
environment.
if you go to one of them, they've got a cheer team on their team. I mean, they've got, I counted, there was teams that had 50 kids come out of the stands. And, they had a lot of support from their schools, obviously, because you'd see their school buses were out there in the parking lots and all that. So, we got a ways to go as far as that goes. We gotta get the school behind us a little more and get that built up. But I think it'll come.
Yeah, and our districts are very enthusiastic also. I was told you that, as the Math Science Center director, people can apply for grants to do programs and things. And actually all the schools represented here have done that and, are starting to build those programs from younger ages. So once you get a program up and running, you're the pioneers in your districts who have done this for the first time. But, I know that support is there. Every time a first year is a first year. And, I look forward to next year, and I'm sure we're going to double your numbers, and, those kids start coming up and, learning about engineering and learning about these types of things and just have an interest in it. So, I know, Coruna's starting an elementary and middle school program, and I know in middle school that you do things there in Durand, and Wasso's doing things at all their levels, so that's a positive. It's going to help you. Mr. Schultz, did you have any questions for him?
Man, I have questions. I want to thank you guys. This was a big deal to me personally because I've been a robotics judge in the past, so I've been pushing on this for years, and I'm leaning on the legislature to try to fund it for next year, and they've unfortunately reduced our funding by about 2/3, but there's still money there, so we're going to push on them. But this is the kind of stuff I'm going to take and give to those folks and say this is what we can get bang for our buck. So I appreciate you guys taking the time, parents. I know this is another thing to do, but it's huge.
Oh, it's huge time.
Yeah, it's a major time
It
commitment.
is amazing. And
Yeah,
on them too. I mean, his grades suffered because he was busy here, and he kind of got to balance all that.
Yeah.
You weren't suffering.
Yeah, they
for,
suffered.
For the first year out, I thought you did amazing. I tell you, I've heard other people say that about our teams with Shiawassee County. I've been kind of noodling around. I told Mrs. Brady that I'm working with some private funders as well, that I'm trying to bring bigger bucks to the whole state to try to keep these programs running, because it is expensive. But schools, I don't want you to think your local districts don't support it. They do. It's just really a tough thing to fund. And
Right, and I didn't mean it. I didn't mean any disrespect by saying it. I just
you got an ally here, because I'm chiding them all the time. I want them doing this. We've done LEGO robotics programs for years. Jerry sees it. Trying to get this momentum going. So, they understand that. I just want to
And I want to thank you for that.
That's what I'm here for. But I'm just glad you guys had a good time. So it seems like you did a great job too. So thank you. Keep doing this. And you got a fan. I'm on your team. I'm in there pulling and fighting to get any bucks I can to help you there. And I like what you're doing. So I'm really pleased. Thank you.
I think they learned. I mean, I can only speak for our two guys. I think they learned a phenomenal amount. When they give you that kit of parts, and you look in there, and I look at these guys, and I'm like, I don't know any of that stuff is, you guys. I mean, the nuts and bolts I can handle. All them wires and all them controllers, that's on you guys.
Yeah. Well, my next hope is we can get credit for this. That's the last her lab been able to leap across, and they're working with the schools better far away, give some credit for this, because this is math, this is science, this is everything.
I got an email today from somebody at Michigan government someplace asking for our log of hours.
Yep.
So
we're gathering as much as we can, and like I said, we're trying to get credit so that you guys. This is like I said, I understand schoolwork suffers, and you have to balance that. But then we would like to give them some credit for that work. So we're working on it right now. There's an option for maybe 1 or 2 credits. We still haven't gotten it approved yet. We're working on it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. My wife would be out to the barn going, hey, he's got homework. He's doing house.
Yeah.
and I'd be
I've heard that
saying,
so many
I'd be
times.
saying, hey, no, he has to program this thing.
He's the man. He's got to do it. So.
That's right. No, but like I said, I am just overwhelmed. It was great for us to have, for a population our size, to get 4 teams off the ground. And it's amazing. You guys did a great job. So.
Well, I think we had them all talking.
You did. Like I said, I know the folks in the judge. Those folks and I have been in the same circles for 25 years and know them well. And they heard repeatedly about how good you guys did for your first year. They were blown away. And we have the most first robotic teams of any state now. So it's a big deal. We made a big leap in 1 school year. So keep it up.
There is a picture on Facebook of one of these FridgeBot shirts at national convention. So.
Okay. Really?
Oh yeah, Tori was wearing it. I'm like, nice.
Yeah, hats off to everyone, because it is a huge time commitment, and it is a lot for you young people to balance your studies and this. I have a son who's in robotics too, and I know he would. I hear you. He'd rather be doing this than his studies, but you have to balance it all.
Well, and it is really studies. I mean, he's learned so much that they're not teaching in school, but is valuable in the workplace.
Absolutely.
I know that it's definitely time consuming for my dad, because when Mr. Shankster found out what his job was, he told him, hey, come in and help out, and my dad's been stuck here and helping out ever since.
I think he's liking it though.
Yep, hats off to the parents, because it's a huge time commitment, and it's tough to help them balance all of that. So, okay, well, there is pizza inside. That's